Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Game 3 American League Division Series. The Tigers have upped their lead to 2-0 on the Guardians thanks to a Matt Vierling sac fly. They're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Only one win stands between the Padres and a trip to the National League Championship Series. They will try to get that victory tonight when they host the Dodgers. Game 4 NLDS. San Diego has been playing its best baseball, but hasn't peaked yet, believes outfielder Fernando Tatis Jr.
There's definitely guys in our lineup that probably haven't put just show their strength right now in the moment, but as Peralta said, we pick up each other. We have each other's back, but I definitely have no doubt that us as a group, we can even put more pressure and we can even play a better baseball. That would be happy doing these last days.
Game 4, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. NFL, Texans wide receiver Nico Collins put on injured reserve with a hamstring injury, so he's out at least the next 4 games. The Raiders will start quarterback Aiden O'Connell over Gardner Minshew Sunday against the Steelers. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers told the Pat McAfee Show today he had no role in the firing of Coach Robert Saleh.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Thursday, the Patriots have finally named Drake May their starter. I'll tell you what success looks like for May and the Pats going forward. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tom, please. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It is a hump day.
Hump day.
Usually when you have a big game like the one coming up in Baton Rouge this weekend,
it's hump day.
The week just kind of crawls, doesn't it?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
The anticipation builds.
Hump day.
The excitement overwhelms you.
It's hump day.
We'll get there, though.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Brian Kelly on the teleconference.
Hump day.
Gave an update on Chris Hilton.
It's hump day.
Saints Bucks this weekend.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Pat Donovan does radio there with the Bucks.
Hump day.
He'll be here in a little more than an hour.
It's hump day.
Busy week for the Bucks.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Evacuated due to a storm.
Hump day.
Divisional game in the Dome.
It's hump day.
Get an update.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Russ Mitchell, hour 3.
Hump day.
He who was one of the first to purchase a piece of the Vanderbilt goalpost.
It's hump day.
He who claims to love all his children the same.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Will join us in hour 3.
Hump day.
Oh, and Taylor Calandro coming up, so get your booze questions in.
It's hump day.
All right, let's get going. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We do have a ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Halfway point of the week. It's Wednesday. Brian Kelly on the SEC Coaches Teleconference updating his team's progress for this Saturday's massive game against Ole Miss, something we've talked about plenty, so much on the line for both teams with playoff ambitions. Both teams already with one loss. The winner of this game sets themselves up to go on a run in the second half. The loser of this game leaves themselves essentially no margin for error. One of the things that we're certainly curious about and have been all season with LSU is wide receiver Chris Hilton. He dressed for UCLA, didn't play, thought he was going to be a go against South Alabama, didn't dress. Now that you've had the open date, what's the latest? Here was Brian Kelly on Wednesday.
It's been a complicated injury. And let's get the record straight, just so everybody knows. Chris has done everything to get back as quickly as possible. This has been an injury that we've done scans and MRIs, and the healing has just been slow. If he had the proper healing and was ready to go, he's put in the time and he has the want to be out there. So I want to be clear that everyone should understand that Chris, if he's able to be out there, he would be out there. It's just, this has been just one of those unusual injuries that has taken so much longer to heal than normal.
So unfortunate too, and there's two primary reasons. Number one, it's for the player. I mean, we all know Chris Hilton, right? I mean, we watched him from the time he was a sophomore at Zachary catching that game-winning touchdown pass in the Dome to beat West Monroe in the state championship, and you knew that kid was special. And then he goes on to be a 5-star, signs with LSU, has 3 surgeries during his time in Baton Rouge. He's waited his turn. He was so good in fall camp. And then that last Saturday of fall camp, here he comes with the bone bruise on a play that I've described for you. I could see it as crystal clear in my head today as when it happened, exactly where on the practice field he was. He went through contact in a 7-on-7 drill. It was Jordan Allen on the coverage, and Hilton made a beautiful touchdown catch, front left corner of the end zone, right inside the pylon. And I guess he just landed awkwardly and had that bone bruise on the foot. And it just lingered now to a point where he's missed 5 games of his 4th year. You know, a guy who waited his turn and like missing when you practice so much, you practice to be able to play in the games, and when you miss any time, it stinks. And here's a guy in his 4th year, it was finally his turn, waiting behind guys like Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas and Kyron Lacey, and it was his turn to have a great year, and he's battled this injury now, but looks like they might be close to getting him back. That's one part. Like, you want it for Chris Hilton. You want him to have this opportunity to go play and be with his team and help the team win. That's the other part, is the value to the offense. And it's something we've talked about a lot. And listen, don't just let me tell you. I want to remind you, this is what Brian Kelly said. This was August the 14th. So you are late in camp at this point. Remember, the last week of August is game week leading up to the game on September 1st against USC. So that prior week was the final week of fall camp. So this was going into the last week of fall camp. Brian Kelly said this about Chris Hilton.
I expect him to have a really good season for us. You know, he's a deep ball threat, but, you know, he's shown a proficiency in terms of his route running. He's gotten better since even preseason camp. You know, I thought he left a couple of balls out there where he needed to come back and be a defender on a couple of routes. I think that learning curve for him is real, and he's getting better each and every day. But I think he's going to be a real impact player for us this year.
Real impact player, and you haven't had him. And he is that guy who provides the stretch the field, the vertical dimension of your passing game, the thing that Brian Thomas Jr. gave you a season ago, the thing, if you want a different analogy, that Rashid Shaheed gives the Saints. Like, don't lose a step on that guy because he's going to get behind your safety, and then it's changed the scoreboard time. Like, for comparison, in his career, Chris Hilton averages nearly 19 yards per reception. Like, every time he catches a pass, it's 20 yards. I mean, he is that type of potential. For comparison, Kyron Lacey this year's at 14.1. Aaron Anderson's at 13.7. CJ Daniels at 11.9. I mean, the highest on the team is Caden Durham because he had 85, 86 yard or whatever it was. And then Josh Williams, and then Kyle Parker is at 18.3, but Kyle Parker's got 3 catches. Obviously had the big, deep touchdown, the 45-yard touchdown reception. So, point is, you need Hilton's dimension in this offense as well. As good as they are, and LSU is in the top 20 in all these major statistical categories offensively, the thing you don't have is the deep threat. So you're doing it all in spite of not having that guy. You get Chris Hilton back, and he adds that dimension to the offense. So hopefully this is the weekend when we get to see Chris Hilton make his long-awaited debut for the LSU Tigers. The other side of the ball is also really interesting for LSU South Carolina, because we all remember what happened a year ago in this game where LSU gave up 55 points, more than 700 yards. That was a record yardage allowed by an LSU defense in a conference game. And over 700 yards boggles the mind to think you allowed that. An LSU defense allowed that in regulation. And it was interesting because Tuesday night was the player availability where the players met with the media, and they pretty consistently asked the same question to all the players to see what the response was. So, like, they asked Greg Penn, are you all out for revenge in this ballgame? Here's what Greg Penn said.
Probably you guys on the outside are looking at it like that, but we just looking at it as another team on the schedule. Just continue to get better, continue to improve every week. Ole Miss is just the team we got to play. I mean, last year is last year. I try not to think about last year because it just wasn't a great defensive output of what we put out there every week. So this year we just trying to be a whole new team, whole new defense.
So saying all the right things, Nussmeier was asked, is revenge on the mind after last year?
I think it goes into this is a new team, right? This is a new situation, a new season. Everything's different. So, like I said before, I think we've done a good job, thus far of not focusing on who we're playing and thinking about it as like a faceless opponent, I go back to thinking about like high school, and you play high school rivalries and thinking about playing a faceless opponent, and things like that. So I think that's kind of the mindset we've taken, and, I think hopefully it'll pay off.
Nameless, faceless Mason Taylor. Hey, Mason Taylor. Hey, Mason Taylor.
Mason Taylor!
You want revenge after last year?
Yeah, I think just like any other week, we did a great job preparing last week in our bye week, getting better as a team and a unit. And this week's been great. Started off practicing on Monday, had a little bonus day, and we're in good hands. And we like games like this, and we love to play them in Tiger Stadium.
By the way, Savion Jones. Hey, Savion Jones. You want revenge this week?
Yeah, I definitely feel that way, especially I'm sure all the fans know that we out for revenge and, what happened to us last year, how they stormed the field and stuff like that. So I feel like not only just the players, but like the fans are excited to have that rematch.
Yeah, when the 6'6", 280-pound defensive end is asked the question, he ain't going to hide from the answer. Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, you do. They embarrassed you. That's human to want to go out there and get back at them on your home field, night game, Tiger Stadium, with everything on the line. You better believe it, man. Yeah, that lingers. All these guys were on that team last year, man. Said it before, I'm going to keep saying it. I know everybody's expecting a score fest. I think this is a mirror image of what we saw in Vegas with LSU and USC. I think you have two coaches that are desperately trying to avoid a repeat of last year. Two defenses that are desperately trying to avoid that as well, not giving up the big plays. I think you're probably going to see a little bit more of a slower pace tempo, keep everything in front of you, and you're going to have a four-quarter game where someone's going to have the ball in the final 2 minutes with a chance to win it and hope it's the Tigers. Look, LSU played a game like that and lost against USC. Ole Miss played a game like that, couldn't make the plays against Kentucky. So both these teams have been in games like that. See how it goes Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. All right, it's after further review. Show up and brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. By the way, if you want to be at LSU Ole Miss, our friends over at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light are giving you a chance to win a pair of tickets. Here's what you do. Go to 1045ESPN.com. We're going to draw the winner Friday here on AFR. Go to 1045ESPN.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see it on the flipper. You can win 2 tickets to see LSU and Ole Miss. These are lower bowl tickets, by the way. All you have to do, no cost of entry to win or anything like that. All you got to do is go to the website, click that banner on the homepage. I think you fill out the form to be entered, and boom, you're entered. We'll pick the winner here Friday on AFR for a pair of tickets to see LSU Ole Miss. If you want to be in that number, you can be, courtesy of our friends at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Okay, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll come back. There's a report about which team might be leading for the Davante Adams sweepstakes. If you're a Saints fan, you're going to love this. It's next, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 and Denham Mid-City on Don Moore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. I mean, literally an hour ago, I always like to check our sponsors' Facebook pages and social media just to see if there's anything they've updated for the day. And I tell you all the time, Clegg's is great at this. This was literally an hour ago. They just posted on their Facebook about an hour ago. Pumpkins are still pumpkining. I guess we could say pumpkins are still pumpkining. And so they have this great gallery at all the different locations with their selection of pumpkin. God, look at all the pumpkins. The hay bales. Look, that's incredible. Go look at there. Go look at the Clegg's Facebook page. I mean, thousands of them. So if you are still looking to decorate your home, the interior, exterior, your front porch, your back patio, your office building, man, all different sizes and colors. It's fall. Decorate. Clegg's can help. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Taylor Calandro in 30 minutes. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. We will talk to Pat Donovan. Does radio there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on their network in 1 hour from right now. Been a topsy-turvy week, of course. We know Milton is bearing down on Florida. I mean, our prayers are with everybody there. I think everyone that lives in the Gulf region understands just something that's going to affect all of us at some point, man. Storms barrel toward us. It's just what we live with. And just a few weeks after Helene hit and was so devastating to have this, Cat 5, like cataclysmic type storm, it just seems unfair. But we'll we'll hope for the best and pray for the best. And all that, of course, just vastly supersedes the importance of a football game. But we're a sports show, and we're going to talk about it here. But that's been a big impact this week as the Bucs left Tampa, spending the week in New Orleans now instead of just traveling on Saturday before a Sunday game as they typically would. So we'll talk to Pat Donovan about that coming up here in an hour from right now. As the Saints start to navigate what life might be like without Derek Carr for however long that may be, this all falls right in the midst of the Davante Adams news. You don't need me to tell you, but I'll reiterate, Davante Adams, 2 years ago, we could have made the argument he's the best receiver in football. And 8 years with Green Bay, perennial All-Pro there with Aaron Rodgers. Ends up with his former college teammate, Derek Carr, with the Raiders. Has a great season there with Derek Carr, individual season. And then Carr comes to New Orleans, and he's caught passes from 5 different quarterbacks in Las Vegas. And so now Davante Adams, who was inactive last week because of a hamstring, and apparently is going to be inactive again this week. Let's be honest, he ain't hurt. It's just a matter of them not wanting him to get hurt and potentially harm his trade value. You see this all the time in sports near a trade deadline. So no surprise, Adams didn't play last week and not likely to play this week for the Raiders either. But the question is, where might he land? It's been stated pretty publicly that the Saints and the Jets are the two preferred destinations because he wants to play with a quarterback he knows. That would be Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr. There are other teams that have gotten in the mix. The Steelers, the Chiefs have expressed interest, according to many reports. But I found this fascinating. So on Wednesday morning, Jeremy Fowler from ESPN reported that the New Orleans Saints might actually be the favorite. I'll read from his report just very briefly here. Speaking of Adams, the Raiders have told at least one team involved in a potential trade they don't plan to front the bill on any of the $16.89 million salary. Perhaps negotiations change that, but that has been the perceived stance from Las Vegas. Teams I've talked to believe the Saints might just be the favorite because they are on Adams' short list of preferred destinations and are willing to be aggressive. He goes on to note that the Jets are involved, but the Raiders will go with the best package, and that, of course, Adams prefers to go to either the Jets or the New Orleans Saints. So Jeremy Fowler reporting that the Saints might just be the favorite here to land Davante Adams. Now, one thing that has to be considered is, what does the Derek Carr injury mean for Davante Adams, for the Saints' even willingness to engage in trade conversations? I mean, if you lose this weekend and you have the quick turnaround against Denver and you lose there, and all of a sudden you're 2-5, what are you playing for? I mean, you're not digging out of that hole. That's just not a real thing that can happen for this team this year with or without Derek Carr and Davante Adams. So the timing, I think, is interesting, and the Saints will have to make some type of calculated risk here with an aging wide receiver who's nearing 32 years old and has a lot of money still on his contract, as we've already detailed. Adam Schefter was on Greeny on ESPN Radio earlier on Wednesday, and one of the interesting things to keep in mind is while the Saints now are navigating life without Derek Carr for an indefinite amount of time, if it's 1 game, 2 games, whatever, so too are the New York Jets going through a bit of tumult. Now, Aaron Rodgers is still there, but they just fired Robert Saleh. So Schefter was asked how the Jets firing Saleh might impact a potential Davante Adams trade.
That's, they got to get their coaching staff straightened out.
Yeah.
And, that right now is on the back burner, even though they're having ongoing conversations. And I'm sure Jeff Ulbrich, is on board with whatever they want to do as a team. So that'll be up to the owner and the general manager.
It's a pretty nondescript answer, but he's not wrong. Robert Saleh wasn't going to make the decision about trading for Davante Adams, and an interim coach won't make that decision either. Does the owner and the GM want to do a deal giving up assets for Davante Adams? I mean, it's very clear where the Jets are. The Jets pumped a lot of resources into a 40-year-old quarterback who's now coming off an Achilles injury. You realize your window is rapidly closing. If there are issues with this team, with Robert Saleh at its helm, you got to fix it and fix it in a hurry, because you don't have time to wait and work through it. It's not like what may be happening in Chicago or Washington is playing fantastic right now, but where you might have a young quarterback and you're going through those growing pains. New England may be a better example, where they're shifting quarterbacks now going to Drake May. But the point being, if you're trying to win now, can Davante Adams help you win now? Yes. You just have to ask yourself the question, how much are you willing to leverage for that opportunity? The example I give all the time is Denver. Denver went all in a decade ago with Peyton Manning. Peyton was at the end of his career. They went all in on Peyton Manning. They brought in Von Miller. They brought in Aqib Talib. They went all in, and they went to 2 Super Bowls, and they won one of them. And they haven't been back to the playoffs for a decade since. They have not been able to figure out how to reset their organization after they went all in with Peyton. But if I asked you, would you if I told you the Saints in the next 2 years are going to go to 2 Super Bowls, win one of them, but they're not going to make the playoffs for a decade after that, you taking that? Damn right you are. Everybody would take that. So that's the boat the Jets are in, very firmly. They got Aaron Rodgers. They got an aging quarterback. They got to win right now. Do you give up assets for Davante Adams if it helps you? Absolutely you do. Like, that's not even a question, especially when the offense is struggling the way they are. The Saints, it's a little more complicated because I don't think the Saints are close to winning, but the organization clearly feels differently. If you missed this, Schefter also had the report about the Saints, who he reported have formally reached out to the Raiders about Davante Adams.
Well, they are one of the 2 teams that he would like to play for, Scott. Davante Adams ideally would like to play with a quarterback that he's been matched with before. That would be either Aaron Rodgers in New York with the Jets or Derek Carr in New Orleans with the Saints. Now, the Saints have been monitoring the situation. They've spoken with the Raiders. The Raiders have been adamant that they want a second-round pick plus in return for Davante Adams. And so far, there hasn't been a lot of progress so far. We'll see if anything can change.
For me, if you're the Jets, you'll gladly give up a second-round pick plus to get Davante Adams, or you'll negotiate and you'll start there. For the New Orleans Saints, that's a little more complicated from my perspective. And I wouldn't do it. Listen, if the Saints were sitting here today, if the offense we had seen for the first 2 weeks had carried on without the injuries, and the Saints were sitting here at 4-1, hypothetically. Let's say they started 4-0, and they managed to beat Philly, they finished off Atlanta, and then they lose on Monday Night Football at KC. Fine, you're 4-1. If you're sitting there at 4-1, I'm like, hell yeah, go make that trade. You're 4-1. Like, you're leading the division. You're going to be a playoff team. What do you need to get you? Who can make a play to get you over the hump in a playoff game and help you advance? Of course, I would do that deal. At 2-3, now with a makeshift offensive line, you're going to be without your starting quarterback, who's the reason Davante Adams is even interested in the Saints for a couple of games now, which could bury you further in the cellar. I mean, you could be looking up at 2-5 a week from tomorrow. And if you are, you're not getting out of that with or without Davante Adams. You're not a playoff team. So do you give up future assets? And I look at what the Saints have been able to do just with second-round picks. I mean, you can roll your eyes and say, what's the value of a pick? And yeah, I mean, Stanley Jean-Baptiste was a second-round pick. That's a fact. So is Kool-Aid McKinstry. Isaiah Foskey was a second-round pick. So was Alontae Taylor. Pete Werner was a second-round pick. I mean, Eric McCoy was a second-round pick. You can go through the list, y'all. Marcus Williams was a second-round pick. Michael Thomas was a second-round pick. Hau'oli Kikaha was a second-round pick. So you got swings and misses. But you got a lot of dudes who have been immediate starters and contributors for you that have become franchise-type players at their position. And when you are older and pushing toward a reset, I don't know that I want to give up that asset, an opportunity to get younger in an inexpensive way on a rookie contract for a loaded contract for an aging player to join a team that right now is 2-3 and could be looking at 2-5 a week from tomorrow. So context matters. You had asked me this week too if Davante Adams was available to be acquired after week 2 and the Saints were 2-0 and rolling. Absolutely, you do that deal. Today, not me. Good luck in New York. We'll follow it, see what may happen. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. Hey, get on by and check them out. Remember, at South Point, they are the largest volume Volkswagen dealer in Louisiana. So if you're thinking of buying a Volkswagen, why would you go anywhere else other than the place that sells more Volkswagens than anybody? Because they move more inventory, they can give you better deals. And if you're buying certified pre-owned, remember, because they move more inventory, they have more certified pre-owned inventory as well. All different makes and models. Go to the website, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Right there, you can check out the inventory on the website. At the top of the page, you can search new, you can search used, year, make, model, body style, price. All of it's right there for you at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, it is After Further Review. 15 minutes, Little Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro. If you've got booze questions, get them in. Email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat as well. If you are watching on YouTube, do us a solid, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We appreciate you for being there. Okay, quick break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. An injury update on 2 Alabama wide receivers. And Steve Sarkisian answered the question about Quinn Ewers. Do they expect him back Saturday against the Sooners? You'll hear that answer next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Hey, download the Rouse's app if you haven't done so yet. They're just awesome, man. And I'm so fired up. Tomorrow is the day for Rouse's. Tomorrow's the day that they will open up their newest location in Biloxi. No, forgive me. That's today. That happened today. That happened today at 8 a.m. My bad. They're open in Biloxi. Shout out. They're on the coast. They're open in Biloxi. Man, I love telling you about Rouse's to continue to see how they grow and expand, but maintaining their family and local ownership. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Y'all, and there's always something going on right now. They got USDA prime beef, whole boneless ribeyes, $11.99 a pound. You can save $8 a pound right now. Standard Farms chicken drumsticks or chicken thighs, value price packed at 88 cents a pound. You need to make groceries for the whole family. You want to save, you can do it at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's, this feels like home.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Congratulations. Wrong one. Congratulations to Mark Mancuso from Bell Chase. Mark is the Week 6 winner in our 2024 Pick'em contest. Wins a Hooters wing party for 10 people. Don't forget to make your picks for round 7 by Thursday at noon. Weekly winners receive a Hooters wing party for 10 people. And the first place season-long champion will receive a 75-inch 4K flat screen TV and soundbar, plus free Hooters wings for an entire year. It's the 2024 College Football Pick'em, presented by Hooters.
The NCAA Division I Council has approved the immediate elimination of the National Letter of Intent program. This is pretty significant. Not to be confused with NIL. This is NLI. So when a prospect signs, right, on signing day, what they sign is a National Letter of Intent. And that letter binds the prospect to the school, meaning the school has to honor this player's financial aid agreement. And the flip side is that once the player signs that letter of intent, they can no longer be contacted by other schools for recruitment. And should they want to go elsewhere, they would have been ineligible, right? They would have had to sit out until the recent decision this past year by the NCAA Oversight Committee to waive that period for transfers, right? You can immediately transfer without sitting out. I'm very curious how this might impact things. The NLI program has been around since 1964, but one of the things that's just abundantly clear is the NCAA is just taking the shackles away. Because every time a piece of NCAA legislation is challenged, the NCAA loses. Every time they go to court, they lose. I mean, there's a record $2.8 billion settlement that's continuing to move through the courts right now. And, you know, all of this settlement agreement is going to include all these different things, which it is just defanging the NCAA. They no longer have teeth in any of their legislation. The NCAA oversight came at the luxury of the schools. I mean, the schools, who are member institutions, granted the NCAA this power and these rights. Well, all of that power now is being challenged by those who are governed. And every time it's challenged, the NCAA loses. So the NCAA is looking at it going, well, why the hell do we even have all these rules? Just get rid of them. So this is another one. So I will be fascinated. A lot of this is going to be learning as we go. So I don't know what the net effect of removing the NLI program will be. But I'm going to be really interested to find out. I mean, remember you only sign one letter of intent ever. You know, when you sign your national letter of intent and then you transfer, when you transfer, you don't sign another NLI. What you do is you sign your financial aid agreement with that school. That's it. It's not, you only sign a national letter of intent once ever. So doing away with that, I guess in theory changes the approach, but probably more so changes the jurisdiction with how the NCAA would punish student-athletes or schools for not abiding by those NLI rules. It's a fascinating time, man. It's just the most transformative period in the history of college sports, and another step today. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick sec. Taylor Calandro here in about 7 minutes. We'll do a little Bourbon Dictionary. I love telling you about Evermore. Y'all reach for some great, refreshing, natural, artesian water. It's Evermore. I always have mine that I drink every single day. It's a better source of hydration. Look, as the weather's getting cooler, a lot of times we forget you still got to drink water. You still got to stay hydrated. You want a better form of hydration for your children, for your family. Make sure it's Evermore. Not only is this natural artesian water, nothing added, nothing taken away, it's also a Louisiana product. That natural well is right there in Covington on the North Shore. The bottling facility is built right there on the site where the well is. So, man, they pipe the water out into their facility, into the bottle. It never touches air until you uncap it, take that first delicious sip. Make sure that you pick up some Evermore. Great local retailers, online at evermore.com. You're looking for a store near you, you'll find the store locator right there at evermore.com. EVAMOR, evermore.com. Okay, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Texas Longhorns.
Steve Sarkisian was asked for an update on Quinn Ewers on the SEC coaches teleconference and said that if they were to play a game today, that Ewers would, in fact, be playing and starting for the Texas Longhorns. But they're still going to take it day by day. Ewers, of course, was injured again in the game against UTSA, finished by Arch Manning, who started the last two games while Ewers got healthy. Texas is coming off a bye. It's Texas against Oklahoma this Saturday in Dallas in the Red River rivalry.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Speaking of quarterback injuries, Taylon Green was injured late in the game against Tennessee, and Sam Pittman said Green is day-to-day. Avoided any structural damage to the knee. They don't think it's an MCL, which is the good news, and they're hoping that Taylon Green will be ready for LSU. The Hogs, after beating Tennessee, are idle this week. If Green can't play, it'll be Malachi Singleton filling in. He's the one, of course, who subbed for Taylon Green and led the game-winning drive against Tennessee.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Kalen DeBoer provided an update on two injured wide receivers. Kendrick Law had a lower leg injury against Georgia, so he didn't play this past week against Vanderbilt. And then during the game, you might remember, Kobe Prentice took that brutal hit over the middle, number 6, and exited the game. Kalen DeBoer said both are starting to get involved in practice this week and fairly optimistic. Alabama is at home against South Carolina this week, and they are hopeful they'll get both receivers back.
The Auburn Tigers.
Freshman pass rusher Jamonte Waller will miss the remainder of the 2024 season. Suffered a foot injury this past weekend. He is available or eligible to take a medical red shirt. He's a Picayune, Mississippi native. He'll have a procedure soon, expected to be cleared by spring. He was a big flip from Florida in Auburn's 2024 class, the number 105 overall recruit in the country. Auburn's 2-4, 0-3 in the league. They have an open date this weekend before they play at Missouri.
The Florida Gators.
Billy Napier is prepping for Hurricane Milton with his Florida Gators, as they're also prepping to take on Tennessee in Knoxville. As Milton's bearing down that Florida coast, the Gators are getting ready. Napier said the guys don't have school today or on Thursday, so they moved the schedule up today to try to get everyone sheltered before the storm arrives. Thursday will be TBD based on what type of situation they have when they wake up after the storm passes, and they'll see. And Florida's on the road this weekend, which means they don't have to get the swamp ready for a game, which certainly alleviates a lot of the stresses that could be put upon a lot of the emergency personnel. Okay, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break, come back. Taylor Calandro will join us, a little Bourbon Dictionary. You know the drill. Got booze questions, get them in. You can email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back. Bourbon Dictionary next.
AFR.
Man, I'm pretty fired up. Told you a couple of Sundays ago, I went and did an NIL video shoot with Kyron Lacey and with Harlem Berry for our friends at Duplessis Builders. And Duplessis is a great example of NIL done the right way. Derek Duplessis, who's an LSU grad, loves the Tigers, wanted to not only help the Tigers, but help his business. Went through the process and the proper protocol, did an NIL deal with Kyron Lacey, a great senior receiver, Harlem Berry, an LSU commitment who was a fantastic 5-star number 1 running back in the country. It's a way to help LSU, but also help his business. So anyway, today I got the first drafts and the cuts and the edits of some of the sit-down interview I got to do with Kyron and Harlem there for Duplessis Builders. We'll start to release those on social media. So if you're not following Duplessis Builders, you need to. And, of course, if you're looking to build a pool, outdoor kitchen, that backyard space, make sure you call DuplessisBuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
You wake up and temps are in the 50s. Ladies and gentlemen, that is whiskey sipping weather. Oh, my God. One of my favorite times of year. Hunting season. The real hunt. I'm not talking about deers. All you dorks that sit up in stands waiting for animals so you can shoot them hundreds of yards away, which I fully endorse your right to do that, and I want to eat them. Whiskey hunting is the real hunting season. Taylor's here. How are you, dude?
Dorks. The deer have returned to my backyard. That's how I know it's getting cool outside.
Oh, do you feed the deer or do you shoot the deer?
I feed the deer in my backyard. I don't shoot them.
Okay.
But I do shoot deer.
I was going to say, do you endorse people coming to your home to shoot those deer?
No, I do not.
Yeah, you don't want people shooting guns by your house. I don't blame you.
Negative.
Yeah, what's new, man?
We got Basil Hayden 10 back in. That's been a past release. It actually went up a little bit too. It's $85. We also got another release today, and it came in the store right before I left, and we just put it out. It is the 70th anniversary of Jimmy Russell Wild Turkey.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And I've been we just got it, so I've been reading about it and stuff. It's very interesting because it's only $55. It commemorates his 70 years of Wild Turkey, and it's to commemorate it. This is what he wanted to do, like something very simple, very inexpensive. His son Eddie said if he owned Wild Turkey, all he would produce is 8-year-old bourbon. So all this innovative stuff that Wild Turkey does, Jimmy's not necessarily a huge fan of, but there's other people at play. He's one of the oldest master distillers alive. I think he is the oldest master distiller alive. Maybe the oldest master distiller ever, as far as a tenure at one place. But the reviews I've read of this stuff is fantastic. It's refreshing to have something that's affordable and limited edition like this, because usually now when it's a limited edition anything, the prices are stupid. And Wild Turkey hasn't been excluded from that. I mean, Master's Keep releases are very expensive, but this is what they wanted to do. So, like I said, the reviews I've read are fantastic. It's relatively inexpensive at $55.
That's an amazing price.
Yeah.
Is this something is this something that's going to be shelved, or is this a raffle bottle?
It is on the shelf currently at Perkins Road.
Snag me one, please.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm walking through my backyard. I'm going to step on a snake.
What kind of snake? What kind of snake was it?
Little green rush.
Okay, so not a big dude that you're worried about.
It's pretty calm, and I back up against the woods. But
Man.
yeah, I almost stepped on one.
I don't do snakes, man, at all. You know what I mean? I'm just not a snake
I don't do
person.
spiders. I'll burn my house down over a spider, but snakes don't bother me.
I'm the same on snakes and spiders. That's just not really my. I don't. That's not me. I'm not that guy.
You're a sports show guy, Matt.
Yeah, I'm a sports show guy who likes to sit in my outdoor kitchen and smoke a cigar and drink whiskey. Yeah, that's what I like. By fire pit in my
I agree. There's sometimes when I'm doing stuff outdoors where I'm like, I wish I was not doing this.
When we moved into our house,
like worse.
We have so our house, we have a pool, and then we actually have water behind our house as well. And like one of the first things we asked, because we bought the house in October of 2016, so it was like 2 months after the flood, and the Great Flood of 2016, and we said, all right, did you flood? Right? And they're like, no, the water came up like halfway up the bulkhead, and that was it. I'm like, all right, well, if you survive that, we're good. I ain't worried about that. Like, do you have snakes? And they're like, and the people that live there are like, we've been here 10 years. We've never seen a snake, not once. I was like, sold, bought it.
Well, I see them every day at my house, but it is what it is.
All right, get your questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. New beer releases real quick. I know it's that time of year. What you getting?
Just like I've been talking about, a lot of Oktoberfest stuff. Like literally, there's been a couple new ones every week. We got Erdinger last week. I'm trying to think what else. Anger. There's been a bunch, and all the locals have Oktoberfest too that have been coming in pretty steadily over the last few weeks. So a bunch of Oktoberfest beers, and in the appropriate months. It used to be that we get them really early, like in August and stuff, and they wouldn't be available. But for some reason, we have them now. So,
let's see. Kentucky Owl is from Clayton. Kentucky Owl confiscated for $100. Have you had it? Is it worth it?
I have had it. I'm not a huge fan of Kentucky Owl, especially for $100. I'll just leave it at that.
I'll tell you this. I've not had confiscated. Kentucky Owl, the 11-year rye, is one of the best ryes I've ever had in my life. And
that release of rye, I think that was the original release of rye.
It was in 2018.
And the first few batches of bourbon before, I can't remember his name, left. But then they got bought, and it hasn't been the same. And I tried to confiscate it. I'm not a huge fan, but that rye is fantastic.
Let's see. I'm sorry, I lost my place. Scott said, any Founders Brewing Bourbon Barrel Age Series beer in store?
Yes. I don't remember which one specifically. He's talking about KBS. But we do have 2 or 3 different ones at Perkins Road. I just can't remember which ones. So 2 to 3 different variants.
Devin said, Old Elk blended straight bourbon whiskey. Any thoughts?
I love Old Elk. Just the straight up bourbon is not my favorite on earth, but it's definitely good. I'm a big fan of their wheated bourbon. If you can find a wheated bourbon, it's a little more expensive, but or the straight wheat whiskey too.
If you get an Old Elk that has wheat in it, yes, it's amazing. Yeah. And they're if you're willing to spend more, like their Infinity Blend, their special releases, their 4-grain, those are all really good as well. Let's see. Bradley, any Heaven's Door varietals? Variables? I don't know. You got Heaven's Door?
Oh, we've got he's variants, I guess.
Yeah,
we have a really high-end Heaven's Door right now. I can't remember which one it is. It's like a 21-year-old. And that's Bob Dylan's stuff.
I got like 15 seconds.
Dylan.
I got to go. Sorry.
All right, man. Go Tigers.
I did it to you again.
All right.
All right. We'll see you. Thanks. That's Taylor. Sorry. I screwed up. All right. It's after further review. Sports Center, then hour number 2.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. See, we started talking about snakes by the pool and his bag. If he didn't say, oh, I almost stepped on a snake, we would have had tons of time for questions. But then we derailed. But that's what we do sometimes. Hey, Shawbills, if you need tires, buy the best tires at the cheapest price. Like, why would you want to overpay for tires? You wouldn't. So you go to Shawbills, where they're going to sell you the best tires for the cheapest price. ShawBillsTire.com. You want to shop them online, you can. Go to the website. There's a promotions tab at the top. Just hit the promotions tab, and you'll see all the dealer specials that they have going on right now. And what Shawbills does is they combine the manufacturer offer with their own in-house offer. Like when you use the Shawbills credit card, you get better discounts. They're going to find a way to get you the best price possible on tires. And then they're going to treat you like family. And so you come back year after year after year for everything going on with your vehicle. It's Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. American League Division Series pivotal game 3 for Cleveland and Detroit tied up at a game apiece. Spencer Torkelson's RBI doubles increased the Tigers' lead to now 3-0 on the Guardians' bottom 6. Yankees hoping tonight's the night. Slugger Aaron Judge finally gets going this postseason, heading into game 3 of their ALDS versus the Royals. The AL MVP frontrunner has struggled mightily. 1 for 7, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a run scored, no RBI in 2 games. ESPN MLB analyst Tim Kirkjian.
He has chased balls out of the strike zone in this series, and that is something he hasn't done virtually at all the last 2 years. He also has been vulnerable to the changeup, and they have thrown him a bunch of changeups in this series.
Game 3, 6:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Texans standout receiver Nico Collins placed on injured reserve with a hamstring issue, so he's out at least the next 4 games. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers told the Pat McAfee Show today he had 0 role in the firing of coach Robert Saleh.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, the Patriots have finally named Drake May their starter. I'll tell you what success looks like for May and the Pats going forward. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. Russ Mitchell next hour. Pat Donovan does radio for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He'll be with us here in 15 minutes. We'll get a thumbnail preview of the Bucs, who been pretty good offensively under Baker. They've really struggled this year defensively, but still 3-2, tied atop the division after they, like the Saints, gagged away a game in Atlanta here in consecutive weeks. But big one for the Saints and the Bucs, division game in the Dome coming up on Sunday. And, of course, the Bucs evacuated to New Orleans ahead of Hurricane Milton, so they're already in New Orleans where they've been all week. So we'll talk to Pat Donovan here in less than 15 minutes from right now. One of the things that I have talked about consistently for more than a decade now is what I have termed to be an inevitability in college sports, particularly college football, which is that we are going to move to one college football. Some have called it a super league or whatever. Phrase it, call it whatever you want. You understand conceptually what I'm saying. That college football will operate independently of the NCAA, of all the other sports. It will be exclusive, not inclusive, where the top 60, 70, whatever number teams it is, all come together and have their own leagues, similar to what the NFL does. And I've, for more than a decade now, really this first became very clear to me during the most severe and radical realignment changes, which came after the 2010 season. And that's when Missouri and Texas A&M announced they were coming into the SEC. That's when Texas and OU threatened to go to the Pac-12, but were lured enticed to stay in the Big 12. It's when the Pac-12 expanded, added Utah and Colorado. You'll remember that. The Big 10 added Nebraska and Rutgers. That's when it crystallized for me. Like, this is going to happen. It's an inevitability. And that was just, it almost happened that summer. But they were able to steady after the earth shook. And all we've seen for the decade plus since are things that have gotten us closer and closer. Well, Ross Dellinger, I'm trying to get on the show later in the week, but I wanted to talk about it before we had Ross here. Ross has an exceptional feature story up at Yahoo right now. Again, hat tip Yahoo. They do great work, and it's free. No paywalls, any of that stuff. Kind of like LouisianaSports.net. And Ross interviewed some 30-some-odd people for this piece. While SEC and Big Ten leaders mull major changes, a new Super League concept could radically alter college sports. Now, I know as you read that headline, you're going to think, I've heard this already. Super League, mega conference, whatever, all this stuff. Here's why it's different. It's called Project Rudy, after Rudy Rudiger, the former Notre Dame walk-on. You all know the whole story. And the three people that are spearheading this are all former Disney executives. They have a TV and programming background, and they certainly understand how the money flows. A couple of the pillars. This would be a 70-team structure, 7-0. It would preserve the four conferences, the power conferences. It would expand the postseason. It would overhaul scheduling, whereby, and this is my favorite part, the 70-team Super League would only play games against each other. You would never, ever, ever again have to watch LSU against South Alabama, LSU against Nichols. All the garbage games they cram down your throat to collect a gate receipt that nobody wants to see, you would never have to see it again. You would have uniform scheduling across the board in college football with a true expanded postseason. And this is why it's going to be endorsed by many administrators. It would tier revenue distribution, infusing as much as $9 billion of private capital cash into the system. Smash Capital is the name of the private equity firm, the venture capital firm, that is proposing this. Now, there is a flip side to this, which is if you're going to take private money, they're going to want something. They're going to want a return on their investment. They're probably going to want some control. Now, what does that control look like? I don't know. I have no idea. And that's the thing you got to figure out to be certain. But I want to remind you, Greg Sankey was a guest on, what show was this, Muse, last week?
It was a Triple Option podcast.
Who's it?
That's Mark Ingram, Urban Meyer, and Rob Stone.
Okay. Sankey's a guest on that podcast, and he was asked about something. It wasn't even about realignment, but the answer he gave got a lot of people's attention. Give a listen.
I think there's probably more of that conversation happening now because of the disdain for what's happened in some compartments. But just having a commissioner wouldn't solve the transfer portal and the legalities around that. It wouldn't solve the name, image, and likeness issues. It wouldn't resolve lawsuits. And so we have to deal with what's in front of us. We're going to have to deal with that in the system we have, and it's going to have to adapt. Would that lend itself to some kind of central coordination? I think that's a lot more difficult proposition than people understand. I've studied it a little bit, and I come back to, I don't want to dumb down the Southeastern Conference to be part of some Super League notion of 70 teams that some people speculate would happen. They want to be us, and that's on them to figure it out, not on me to bring myself back to earth.
We found out Greg Sankey has seen Project Rudy. Remember, that soundbite, that interview was a week ago. We just had the report by Ross 2 days ago. Or yesterday. So, as we now have found out, every conference commissioner, dozens of prominent athletic directors, coaches have all seen the deck for Project Rudy. And so Greg Sankey was asked about, I remember now, he was asked, would you want to be a commissioner of college football? And he spun that from, would you be a commissioner of college football, to, I don't want to dumb down the SEC. What he's saying is, look, everybody else in college football is chasing us. We have the brands, we have the revenue, we have everything everybody else wants. Why would we want to bring ourselves back to the pack? You want to be us, do better, and catch us. That's what Greg Sankey's saying. But in actuality, if you go to this 70-team model with one television contract, one playoff revenue stream, it renders a conference commissioner useless. You don't need a conference commissioner anymore. Like, the NFC South doesn't have a division commissioner. You have the NFL commissioner, one person that oversees the whole thing. How would that structure in college? I don't know. But what's very interesting that they propose is a 4-tiered revenue system. So it wouldn't be like all 70 teams get the same. Alabama wouldn't make the same as Iowa State. Georgia wouldn't make the same as Purdue. Ohio State would make more than Mississippi State. So it's how it would be tiered. And by the way, based on your success on the field, you could move up or down in the tiers year to year. So there is actually an opportunity for advancement as well if you're able to figure it out and maximize how you spend your revenue. But I think this is a magnificent idea. It's a long read. If you have the time, I would strongly suggest you do it because of how this ends. I'll read the very end of this for you. And again, this is this is probably a 20-minute read. I mean, it is a long feature piece, and Ross did an amazing job. He interviewed 30 people for it. But he says, questions abound. For some, answers are easy. Quote, too many schools are saying this makes a lot of sense, says one supporter of the model who presides over a power conference athletic department. Quote, we're not ready for it, rebutted a high-ranking Big Ten school official. Quote, there has not been a tipping point yet. Will this happen eventually? Yes, said one SEC school executive. It's all inevitable. So will this happen in 15 to 20 years? A chortle emanates from the other side of the line. Quote, oh no, much sooner than that. So whether you like it or not, whether you're ready for it or not, whether you're resistant to change or not, the thing that I have sat here on this show and this microphone and told you for more than a decade was inevitable is coming to fruition, because it is. People in positions of authority, people who build big businesses and big companies, don't stop wanting to grow. They never get satisfied. They're never satiated. Like Google isn't like, oh, we're worth $2 trillion. We're good. No, they're constantly looking to innovate to see how they can continue to grow. It's no different with the NFL or sports leagues or any business at all. And college football, major college sports, is a business. So all of these schools are thinking, how do we keep raising revenue? Remember also, another piece of this, which maybe is just as important, it would solve the amount of capital ingested would solve the revenue share issues that a lot of schools are trying to figure out. And it would be enough revenue to save your Olympic sports. This solves too many giant questions facing major college sports not to happen. Just a question of when. All right. If you want to react, you can. Let me knock out a break. When we come back, talk some Saints Bucks. Pat Donovan does Bucks radio. We'll get an update on Tampa next. It's AFR.
After further review.
Ooh, temps dipping below 60. Y'all, it's time. Time to call River City's 1 Hour Air. Get that heater safety check, y'all. 752-0001, 752-0001. Your heater is dormant for months. It could collect dust. It could be hazardous. Before you turn on your heater this winter, make sure you call River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. They'll come out to your house. They'll make sure that your heater is clean, it's tuned up, it's safe and efficient for the winter months. Got to do this. Take these precautions. Not only will it protect your home and your family, most importantly, of course, but it'll also extend the life of your unit. Mention the Moscona special. They'll save you $30. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is all.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Who that say they're gonna beat them Saints? Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
Well, the task at hand, most of them have their families here with them, so that's a big relief for them, and they're able to focus on the football. We understand that and the things that we do in football is a small mechanism in the game of life and how this hurricane is going to affect people, but we are focused and we're trying to get ready for a game, and everybody's here and their families here. That makes it a lot easier.
That is Bucks coach Todd Bowles. Of course, the Bucks evacuated Tampa ahead of Milton. They've spent the week here in New Orleans getting set for the game Sunday against the New Orleans Saints. Pat Donovan's part of the Bucks radio network, the pre- and post-game host. You also catch him on 95.3 WDAE. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Pat, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Doing well, man. Good to be with you.
It's our pleasure. Obviously, everyone here is thinking of everyone there in the path of the storm. Can you just kind of give us an update of what it's like there as you all make the final preps?
Yeah, and thank you. And, of course, we don't have to tell you guys about hurricanes. Unlike most places in the country, you guys get it. But, right now it's a little rainy, a little windy out here. I'm just north of Tampa Bay, so I'm inland enough where it's not going to be too big of a deal. But as you just mentioned, the Buccaneers left yesterday to make sure they didn't have to deal with any of this. And that's probably a good thing for them because it's just the type of thing where you don't want to be having to deal with trying to get up there through this mess that could be here within a couple days.
Hey, Pat, just jog our memory here, man. The Saints a couple years played a quote-unquote home game against Green Bay in Jacksonville. So, everybody, we've all at some point seen this. Has Tampa had to be displaced or gone through this, the football team, in any time recently under Bowles where they've got these systems or protocols in place?
Listen, they're always prepared because just like in New Orleans, right, like this could happen at any moment. It's just kind of something that we deal with living in this part of the world. So it's something that there's always kind of a plan in place for. The closest thing I can remember, and I don't recall the season, but there was a year where they had to basically move the bye week to week 1 because of a hurricane that happened out of nowhere, and there was just nowhere to get the game played that week. I don't know if you remember this, but they ended up having to take their bye week 1, and play the entirety of the season without a bye week because of a hurricane.
That's brutal. It's just one of those ancillary things I know that sometimes we have to talk about, but on the field, the Bucs have been actually a pretty good story to talk about. I think everyone kept waiting for maybe the clock to strike midnight on Baker Mayfield, but win the division last year, and here they go again right there tied with Atlanta at the top. Through 5 weeks, what's been maybe the biggest storyline surrounding the Bucs?
I think overall the offense and the progression of the offense under new offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. I think a lot of people knew mostly what to expect out of this defense. And, with some of the injuries, I think the results haven't been a huge surprise. But what they were going to do differently offensively was a big topic coming into the season. It struck me during training camp that every single offensive player you talked to spoke about how much more complex this offense was, how many more opportunities this offense should give them because of the way that Liam Cohen was going to call the offense, the different things they were going to do, the fact that Baker Mayfield would have 2 plays in his pocket every time he went to the line of scrimmage, which is something they didn't do last year. So he was going to have a lot more responsibility in this offense. A lot of players thought they were going to have a lot more opportunities in this offense. And even though it's been a little bit up and down the second half, they kind of fell off last week, and certainly against Denver, it didn't look good. You can see a lot of reasons why all the players and fans are much more optimistic about this offense under Liam Cohen as opposed to what they saw last year under Dave Canales.
Is there, like for example, the Saints with Clint Kubiak, we know they're using a wide zone. So it's very obvious when you watch them, like they are running stretch plays in the wide zone to get to the edges. Is there a noticeable difference that a fan would see when they watch the Bucs this year under Liam Cohen as opposed to last year under Dave Canales?
Well, one thing that Liam Cohen wants to do, and we've seen this a lot in Los Angeles for years, right, where obviously he came from before he was at Kentucky as the offensive coordinator, obviously was a coach there in Los Angeles where he got to know Baker Mayfield a little bit, why they brought him in here. But what they're doing a lot is they're utilizing a lot of condensed splits, right? They're bringing their offensive weapons in towards the offensive line a little bit as opposed to having guys spread out wide, a lot more bunch sets in this offense. And really what Liam Cohen has done, and you can see it, early in the season, even though there's some things they really need to improve on, including getting Luke Gedeke back at right tackle just so that Baker Mayfield has enough time to get rid of the football. But he's doing a really good job of scheming guys open. I remember it was, I think, Chris Godwin who noted he was going to be playing the same position that Cooper Kupp plays in Los Angeles or does when he's healthy, right? Mm-hmm. And we've seen how many times that guy's been just open in space. And it's not because he's one of the best athletes in all of football, it's because of that offense, and it's some of the things they're trying to do here.
Pat Donovan is with us. He's on Twitter, X at Pat Donovan Radio, Bucks pre- and post-game host there on the radio network. Also 95.3 WDAE, where you can get him. Mike Evans just as steady as she goes, man. Just like maybe one of the best receivers in football that nobody ever really talks about a bunch. With Evans and Godwin, that's still enough, or there are other weapons offensively there that we need to know?
Well, listen, they're really high on their rookie receiver, and even though he's had a bit of a quiet start to the year, Jalen McMillan, he can do some really good things, although we don't know that we'll see him on Sunday. Obviously, he missed this last game, so he's got a hamstring going on, so we don't know if he'll be out there. Trey Palmer, a kid they took in the 6th round last year, can do some good things in the passing game, but I think what can easily be overlooked right now is a guy with those two guys out, like Sterling Shepard, who's, as you know, a guy who's been in this league for a long time. Play has really fallen off in recent years, but has that relationship built in from his year with Baker at Oklahoma. And those two guys are just psyched to play with each other. Did have a touchdown in this past game. And he's a guy that, is just reliable. They know he's going to run the right route and can get lost underneath when you're focused on guys like Chris Godwin, like Mike Evans. So he's another guy that'll do some things. And listen, the rookie Bucky Irving, he had a late fumble in this past game against Atlanta that was costly, but he is an explosive little back. He doesn't go down on contact the first time. And he's a guy that I think eventually is going to take more and more carries from Rachaad White. And the more comfortable he gets at this level, I think can be a real weapon for this football team that for a 4th-round pick, I don't think people saw coming.
Pat, we were talking on the other side of the ball yesterday about this Tampa defense. You got a guy like Bowles there. It maybe caught a little, little off guard at how poor statistically they've done, at or near the bottom of the league in most major statistical categories. Sometimes stats can be misleading. How challenging has it been defensively for Tampa so far through 5 weeks?
Well, it's really interesting because of the way this league is now, right? There's no such thing as an elite defense or a dominant defense in today's NFL. You're not allowed to be with the rules, right? So you have to be opportunistic, in my opinion, in this league. You can bend but don't break. And to an extent, that's what they've done. It's why they're off to a 3-2 start and really should be 4-1. Should have won that game against Atlanta. But the reality is, at the same time, they just don't get enough pressure off the edge. Yaya Diaby was a really good rookie last season and has gotten off to a bit of a slow start this year. But it's kind of Yaya and everybody else at outside linebacker. And again, Yaya's off to a slow start. So while they've got a horse like Vita Vea, who, by the way, has been in and out in the middle of the defense, who can create a lot of push in the middle of the pocket when he's in there, 10 sacks, by the way, the last 2 games since he's returned, as opposed to 2 going into the last 2 games. Over the first 3 games, they only had 2 sacks. So they're missing a lot of pieces, especially in the middle of the football field, which is why Kirk Cousins just had a field day this past Sunday. Their best and fastest middle linebacker, Servassier Dennis. I shouldn't say best. I mean, Lavonte David's their best by a long shot, right? But Servassier is their best guy in coverage. He's out. At one point last week, you were without your 2 safeties as well. And they just took advantage of the middle of that football field all game long. And I expect New Orleans, if Antoine Winfield Jr. is not back, because Servassier will not be, I think they'll take advantage the same way, just going over the middle of the field, because it was just wide open all last week. But there's some things they do really well here, especially when everybody's healthy. But at the same time, they don't get pressure off the edge. And, if you don't get pressure on the quarterback in this league, they're going to have a fun day.
Yeah. The tricky part for the Saints this week, obviously, is who's going to play quarterback. So there's a giant unknown there. And the Bucs have had the opportunity to play a few rookie quarterbacks already this year. So see which it is, Haener or Rattler for New Orleans. Pat, I'm curious from the Tampa perspective how big this game is. Listen, the last 2 weeks, Tampa and New Orleans both just gagged away games against Atlanta. I mean, it's you all are feeling exactly what we were a week ago. You're just scratching your head wondering how in the world you lost that game, but it's the reality. And the Saints are sitting there at 2-3, Tampa's at 3-2. You wouldn't think one game is a massive difference, but for New Orleans, if they fall to 2-4 with a couple of division losses already, it's hard to see a path out. What about for Tampa at 3-2? How big is this game when you start to look at what's ahead for the Bucs?
I think it's a massive game for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's your second consecutive road divisional game, so you want to try to pick one of those up, right? But also, you are coming off a loss where you're as disappointed as you are about the way you finished against Atlanta. So I think you want to try to rebound from that. On top of that, this is a week where you look at it, and even though the Buccaneers have been displaced and are practicing at Tulane, and this is an odd week, they also played Thursday night last week. So they're on 10 days before Sunday, whereas New Orleans, as you know, just played on Monday night. So they're on a short week. The Bucs have extra time. This is the kind of game where you kind of need to take advantage of things like that. And, by the way, you look ahead on the schedule, and you've got Atlanta again. You've got Baltimore. You've got Kansas City. You've got San Francisco. It is a very difficult schedule between this game and the bye week for the Buccaneers, which is like 10 or 11. And you don't want this thing to turn into a losing streak. So I think for that reason alone, the matchups ahead, this is a big game for the Buccaneers as well.
Tampa, 3.5-point favorite in the Dome, Sunday noon. Saints and Bucs will renew the divisional rivalry. He's Pat Donovan, radio pre and post there on the Bucs Radio Network. Hey, Pat, good luck with the storm, man. Stay safe. Everybody here is certainly thinking about it and praying for everybody down there. And we appreciate you taking the time to join us here today for a couple of minutes, man.
Well, thank you. And I know I can speak for the Buccaneers and everybody with the Bucs about how much they appreciate the way they've been taken care of since they've gotten to town. So it'll be a weird thing where we kind of pretend to hate each other on Sunday, but we have this weird appreciation for each other as well.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thank you for the time, okay?
Anytime.
All right, be well. That's Pat Donovan. Get him on Twitter, X at Pat Donovan Radio. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli, Michelli.com. At Michelli, they like to say, we show the world what measurement can do. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products used to weigh and measure. Our nation's largest distributor of scales. I tell you that all the time. But they do so much more. So if you have precision measurement equipment that needs to be calibrated, Michelli can handle it. In-house, but don't pack up your equipment, ship it to a calibration lab in Chicago or something like that. Just call Michelli. They're local. They can come pick it up from you, bring it to their lab, calibrate it, return it. Don't take 6 to 8 weeks for something that should be a 2-week turnaround. Michelli will make you more efficient. ISO 17025 accreditation. They've got their track system, a free service, 24/7, 365 to all of your assets and calibration certificates. Why would you do business with anyone else? It's Michelli. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Okay, y'all. Glad you're aboard with us here. It is, sometimes you don't think about how you look at a game through another prism. And one of the things we haven't really talked about here, and I know it's been quick because Tuesday was more about the reaction to the loss on Monday Night Football to Kansas City. And now we're sort of turning the page to Tampa. But it's true what Pat said. Thursday Night Football, when you play that, as much as it sucks to have the quick turnaround, the benefit is you get the mini bye after. You get 10 days. You play on Thursday, you don't play again until the following Sunday. So while the Saints have a quick turnaround without their starting quarterback, yes, Tampa has back-to-back road divisional games, but they have the extended week of recovery and preparation after having played on Thursday Night Football. So which side is advantaged there? It's probably Tampa. Even though they have to travel, they get the long week, while the Saints are on a short week, having played in Kansas City on Monday night. And, of course, an even further disadvantage, not having your starting quarterback. All right, we'll talk plenty about it as we get closer to Sunday. Glad you're here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. We'll knock out a break. When we come back, we'll do a little Pluckers trivia with Muse. Russ Mitchell in 45 minutes. Ton to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
After further review.
It's a home week for LSU, so you know where the Tigers will be on Friday evening. Tigers, their home on Friday evening is the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. Every day here, I get to tell you about the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Two of Baton Rouge's premier hotel properties. The Renaissance, sprawling location right there on Bluebonnet across from the mall and Perkins Row. If you're familiar with Baton Rouge, you know where it is. Super convenient to I-10, so you can get anywhere easily from the Renaissance Hotel. Of course, you got an amazing dining experience with Tallulah in the Renaissance Hotel. And whether you're looking for guest rooms to stay the night, family members coming in town, whatever it may be, or a place to host your next event, the Renaissance has the square footage to host anything from a wedding reception to an awards banquet, a gala or ball, or an entire football team, like they host the LSU Tigers the night before every home game. Right there on Bluebonnet, it's the Renaissance Hotel.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
The best.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we will get to our Pluckers trivia here in just a second, but we do have breaking news. This probably should not come as a gigantic surprise given what the reports were a day ago. But Dennis Allen meeting with reporters quite literally as we speak. He is speaking right now to reporters. Dennis Allen has announced that Spencer Rattler will start on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, for the rookie 5th-round draft pick, this will be his first career start. We will, coming up after the top of the hour, revisit a lot of the Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener battle throughout training camp and how that went. But if you remember, it was very much a neck and neck type competition where Rattler would throw a great touchdown pass, and then Haener would throw a great touchdown pass, and then Rattler would have a bad day and Haener would have a bad day. And it was just they sort of matched each other. Preseason games was the same. One would have a good day, one would have a bad day in the preseason. So how they came to this decision is going to be very interesting to hear Dennis Allen's explanation of why, especially when Jake Haener was the guy they went to in-game on Monday Night Football against Kansas City, yet with time to prepare here, they're going to Spencer Rattler. I don't think there's any question. We would all agree that physically Spencer Rattler has the higher ceiling and the greater physical ability than does Jake Haener. Again, I don't think anybody would argue to the contrary. So this is an opportunity for Spencer Rattler. We'll see what he does with it. Again, Dennis Allen meeting with reporters right now. He has told reporters and announced Spencer Rattler will start on Sunday against Tampa Bay in the Superdome for the New Orleans Saints in place of Derek Carr. As DA continues meeting with reporters, the more we learn, we'll let you hear it, and we'll revisit all that coming up here in about 22 minutes after the top of the hour. So, again, some breaking news there. Spencer Rattler will make his first career NFL start. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. We'll get to Pluckers Trivia here in just a quick second. Remember, if you're thinking of popping the question, gents, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, they have helped Louisiana get engaged for more than 40 years. They will only sell the most beautiful, highest quality diamonds from the finest diamond mines in the world. You will never see a lab or man-made diamond in the case at Lee Michaels, because what are you actually buying? At Lee Michaels, you never have to worry about the quality of what you're buying, the staying power, the lasting value. And this is something that ideally your wife at some point will give to your daughter, to your granddaughter, be passed down generations. Like, what are you buying? At Lee Michaels, you're always buying quality. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com. Okay, Muse, trivia, hit it.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia, every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
All right. Muse got a little high on a supply last week with the Roanoke Colony and missed out on a what would have been a perfect week.
That was last week?
It was last week.
That feels like a month ago. All right.
No. That was last week. Okay, Muse. 3 questions. I just don't know how you're going to do here. You're definitely getting 1.
Okay.
Actually, if you don't get 1, you're fired.
All right.
You don't deserve, this would be almost akin to screwing up the Pete Sampras question.
Well, I was just about to say, if this is a tennis question, I'm not going to get it.
But it's just one that, being someone who works in sports, your general knowledge of sports should get this.
All right, you're going to set me up for failure, so go ahead.
The other 2, we'll just see what you know.
We'll just see what we know.
All right, Muse. Which college sport awards the Oscar Robertson Trophy each year?
Oscar Robertson. Basketball?
Yes!
Hey!
Oh! The Big O?
Yeah, man, just didn't ring a bell. Sorry. We got it, though. Knew it wasn't baseball. Knew it wasn't football. But what I was hoping was it wasn't one of these damn off-the-wall, sports that isn't played all around the country.
Every word that comes out of your mouth just digs you deeper in a hole of lacking credibility with people in our audience. So
got the question right.
That's Muse, you guessed, and I'm glad.
Got it right.
I'm glad you got it. But again, with every word you speak, you further nullify your ability to answer that question, thus calling into question your credibility. The Big O, you need to read up on it. Get a book. Read a book. The Big O is one of the greatest college basketball players. One of the greatest. He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest basketball players ever.
It's awesome. I like that.
He is on par with guys like Bill Russell and Will.
Great player.
Wes Unseld. You're going to talk about great. Do you know Wes Unseld?
Nope.
Got to read a book, dude. Got to read a book.
Yeah.
Got to read a book.
Probably not going to do that, but
for your own sake, you got to read a book. All right, we'll move on. Name that witchy movie based on the quote, kidnap the Sandy Claus, beat him with a stick, lock him up for 90 years, see what makes him tick.
I'm guessing that one wasn't Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah. What's the quote again? Can I have the quote again?
Yeah, sure. The country of origin.
Yeah, the country of origin. Can you use it in a sentence?
Any alternate pronunciation?
Yeah.
You want a sentence? This quote was in a movie. Kidnap the Sandy Claus, beat him with a stick, lock him up for 90 years, see what makes him tick.
Witchy movie. I don't know. Macbeth.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Tim Burton. All right.
Did Sandy Claus not give it away? Sandy Claus?
Never seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, actually.
And that was one of those, we'll see what you know.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie.
Okay, Muse, to completely embarrass yourself today, which of these layers of the Earth's atmosphere is the lowest to the ground? Is it the stratosphere, the thermosphere, or the mesosphere?
So I don't think it's the thermosphere. I want to say it's the mesosphere. The stratosphere is the second one, I believe.
No.
Was it thermosphere?
It was stratosphere.
It was stratosphere. Okay, wow. I thought that was the second one. I thought there was one and then stratosphere.
Muse, in disappointing, you never disappoint. Pluckers Trivia tonight. Do better than Muse. Get on by. 7:30 Blue Bond at 8 o'clock. Nicholson at Pluckers. You don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird. Muse will come back and try to redeem himself by reading off sports stories that he looked up because clearly he doesn't know much. How do you not know Oscar Robertson? I don't get, like, Pete saying, I want to get a list of all-time great athletes and see whose names you don't even know. Oscar, the big O.
I know his name. Like, I've heard of Oscar Robinson.
Wait. I'm going to save you from yourself because I care for you deeply.
Well, thank you.
The more you talk. No. The more you talk, the worse it is. So let's go to break. We'll come back, and we'll do Tigers and the Pros, and you can tell me about all the great stuff that LSU players and the pros are doing, all the money they're making, and make us feel really good and happy. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries. Oscar Robertson was a basketball player. He was not a welder, a pipe fitter, a crane operator, boilermaker. But if you're one of those things, you should call Action Industries. Because at Action Industries right now, they are hiring. They're looking for you. Trying to hire 100, 125 people for 2 turnarounds they have coming up. You'll know it's turnaround season. 2 month-long turnarounds, 4 to 5 weeks, working 7/12s. Want to make that money here before football season's over, before the holidays. Action Industries is looking for you. You can apply online. I'll give you the website, actioninc.com. That's Action Industries Incorporated. actioninc.com. Or apply in person at their Highway 30 office in Geismar. Just go in, ask for Zach. It's Action Industries. Been around since 1982. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Calandro. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Just joining, breaking news, Spencer Rattler will start Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Full report on that. A lot of feedback takeaway coming up in about 10 minutes. As Dennis Allen finishing up with reporters right now. We'll let you hear what DA had to say. That's coming up. Russ Mitchell in 25 minutes. Right now with Tigers in the Pros, it's Matthew the Big O Musso.
The Big O.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed
Marilyn
purple and
Monroe
gold.
Musso was a
They're
big fan.
just really rich now.
No, she wasn't. I promise you. Yeah.
Clearly.
All right. Tigers in the pros. Hey, let's start with basketball. Why don't we? The NBA preseason's happening right now.
Please tell me more.
I will. The Brooklyn Nets were on the floor last night, Matt, in NBA preseason basketball, the league that Oscar Robertson played in. Robertson, that's what I said.
No, it's not.
Ben Simmons, he was on the floor. Take it in now, because he'll probably get injured here shortly and be off the floor.
Did he?
No. Nary an attempt. Nary an attempt. But it was good it was good to have that back. Yeah.
Good to run it back.
Yeah.
We do that to see if Ben Simmons would actually attempt a three-point.
Yeah. 13 minutes for Benny Boy. 2 points, 2 boards, and 3 assists. 0 for 0 from behind the arc.
Got it.
Cam Thomas attempted threes in the game last night, though.
No kidding.
Yeah, hit 50% of them. 2 out of 4. 12 points for Cam in 17 minutes. Just really solid. Fired up to actually watch him. Trenton Watford is also with the Nets, so big LSU connection there. We'll see how it goes for Watford. He didn't play last night, coach's decision. Aaron Nola was on the bump yesterday.
Yeah!
We were talking about it. Had him in the second inning, or the third inning of his work, I believe, in Tigers in the Pros yesterday. Ended up going 5, gave up 4 earned. Punched out 8, though. Got tagged with the loss. The Phillies didn't really give him any run support either. Have to see what happens with old Philly. That could be Aaron's last appearance, last start of the year, if Philadelphia does not stave off elimination later today. And how about this? In the NFL right now, you're looking at the receiving statistics. Just take a gander at them. You don't have to go past the top 7 to find 4 LSU Tigers. Jamar Chase, 2nd in the league in receiving yards. Justin Jefferson, 3rd. Brian Thomas, 6th. Malik Neighbors, 7th. DBU might be on hiatus currently.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
But wide receiver LSU firmly entrenched. 4 in the top 7, and 2 of them are rookies. Don't play with LSU when it comes to wide receivers. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Optimize. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com. Maybe Helene or Milton, if they are reminders to you what storms can do, now is a great time to call our friends over at Optimize. You might be thinking, well, storm season is past. I'll wait till next year. And I'll remind you, we lost power due to a freeze. There's always times where storms come through and can knock your power out. It inconveniences you. And maybe, like I always tell you, before the storm strikes is the best time to call Optimize. When the storm's in the Gulf, it's too late. It takes time to go through the permitting, all the processes, getting your electrical company out there to get everything situated. There are regulations that have to be followed, like a generator has to be so far from windows and doors and things like that. So it's a great time to call now to start that process. GeneratorPeople.com. It's optimized from Lake Charles to Slidell, everywhere in between on the 1012 corridor. They got 4 physical locations, so they can come to you no matter where you are. Nobody sells more Generac automatic home standby generators in Louisiana than Optimized. That's why they are the Generator People. So go to GeneratorPeople.com. Just doing a little research here, Muse. Oscar Robertson was the NBA's MVP in 1964.
Oh, man.
He was a 12-time All-Star, a 3-time NBA All-Star Game MVP, a 9-time All-NBA First-Teamer, 2-time NBA All-Second Team, NBA Rookie of the Year, 6-time NBA Assist Leader, the NBA Anniversary Team for the 35th, 50th, and 75th anniversaries of the NBA. His number 14 retired by the Kings. His number 1 retired by the Bucks. 2-time Helms College Player of the Year. 3-time UPI College Player of the Year. 2-time USBWA College Player of the Year. 3-time Sporting News College Player of the Year. 3-time Consensus First Team All-American. 3-time NCAA Scoring Leader. The 3-time First Team All-MVC. Number 12 retired by the Cincinnati Bearcats. He was Mr. Basketball in the United States of America in 1956. I don't know how you do not know who Oscar Robertson is. It's just stunning to me.
Well, I try to give you an explanation, but I mean,
no, there is no explanation.
So, yeah, I mean,
there is no explanation whatsoever.
No, there is.
There isn't. You're going to say he's old. You're going to say he's old. And the point is, there's people who played basketball during that era who you know, and he's literally one of the greatest ever in the history of the game. And to not even know the name of someone who's one of the greatest ever is just unfathomable. It's like the Pete Sampras thing. This is just it's boggling my mind how there are these black holes in your brain for these all-time greats. I just wonder, are there others? Or is Musso existing in his own Barbie girl reality? I don't know. We'll find out after the break.
AFR.
Brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know, and do business with people who know who Oscar Robertson is. That's us, Parrish Construction and Roofing. Go to parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Roof repairs, roof replacements. And look, Kim Mulkey trusts us. You go to the website, right there on the homepage of the video, homepage of the website, you see the video of Kim Mulkey giving us her endorsement. We've done plenty of work at Coach Mulkey's house in the past as well. Her family members, listen, if you got a leak or think you might have damage, give us a call. And like I always say, there's 2 ways to find out if you got roof damage. 1, have an inspection. 2, wait for it to rain and you get water in your house. And one of those options is way better than the other. If you need a new roof and you're worried about the ability to pay, we have financing options for any level, even for your deductible. If you can't pay your insurance deductible, you're worried about that, we can work with you. Let us help you. It's Parrish Construction and Roofing. Do business with someone you know. Parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Tigers won the pivotal Game 3 of their American League Division Series against the Guardians 3-0. Riley Green, Matt Vierling, and Spencer Torkelson each drove in a run. Detroit up 2-1 and close out the series tomorrow at home. Phillies on the road facing a must-win Game 4 NLDS against the Mets. Teams are scoreless, top of the third. Only one win stands between the Padres and a trip to the National League Championship Series. They'll try and get that victory tonight when they host the Dodgers, Game 4 NLDS. San Diego's been playing its best baseball, but hasn't peaked yet, believes outfielder Fernando Tatis Jr.
There's definitely guys in our lineup that probably haven't put just show their strength right now in the moment, but as Peralta said, we pick up each other. We have each other's back, but I definitely have no doubt that us as a group, we can even put more pressure and we can even play a better baseball that we'll be happy doing these last days.
Game 4, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Rookie quarterback Spencer Rattler will start for the Saints versus the Buccaneers on Sunday. He'll be filling in for the injured Derek Carr, sidelined by an oblique injury.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Thursday, the Patriots have finally named Drake May their starter. I'll tell you what success looks like for May and the Pats going forward. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Spencer Rattler starting for the Saints.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's official.
Hump day.
Dennis Allen said it.
It's hump day.
Let the Rattler era begin.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Rattler time.
Hump day.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
It's hump day.
Shake your baby rattler.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
The rattlesnake.
Hump day.
I was about to say, we gotta get a snake reference in there somehow. That's what Marler should have put on the shirt. Sorry, that's inside baseball. My bad.
It's hump day.
We'll explain it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Got a merch store.
Hump day.
929 Misfits.
It's hump day.
Chris Marler designed a shirt.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Related to the quarterback.
Hump day.
It's hump day.
You're a dance, stepping on your toes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Put a crawfish on the shirt.
Hump day.
Spencer Rattler's little fro hairdo.
It's hump day.
The number 18 headband.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Apparently they did that last year around Carolina.
Hump day.
But put a chicken.
It's hump day.
Because they're the cocks.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Heard that.
Hump day.
Friendly looking crawfish.
It's hump day.
You can buy that shirt at 929misfits.com.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And Muse was saying maybe we should have done the snake instead.
Hump day.
Not too late.
It's not too late.
However,
It's hump day.
I'd prefer like a baby rattle.
Mike. What day is it,
Because
Mike?
I don't like snakes. I'm not wearing a shirt with a snake.
I don't like snakes
Zero
either.
chance. Zero chance. No shit. All right. Let's get going. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. Russ Mitchell, a little more than 10 minutes from right now. Breaking news. Dennis Allen, just a bit ago, announced when he met with reporters, it is going to be Spencer Rattler Sunday against the Bucs.
I'm sure you guys are all going to be wondering who's going to be the quarterback. Spencer Rattler will be the quarterback for this game. We talked a lot as a staff about what we felt like was the best thing for us and give us the best chance to win the game. That was the decision that we made, and we're excited about him getting an opportunity to go in there, and we'll let him go play and see what he can do.
Okay, he said for this game, Rattler will be the starter. So there was a very natural follow-up, which is he going to be the starter moving forward, or is it just specifically this game that wanted the clarification?
As it's been all along, with those two, we're really kind of in a week-to-week deal with each one of those guys. So we're worried about this week right now, and then we'll see where we're at after that.
Okay, he's not wrong. That's actually very accurate, how they've handled this. Go back to the preseason with us when you had Haener and Rattler, and all throughout the preseason, not only were they would alternate series with the ones, who would take the first snap back and forth. In the preseason games, they alternated who got the first opportunities. If you remember in that first preseason game, Jake Haener started. It was Rattler. That was the first preseason game at Arizona. Haener started. Rattler came off the bench, and if you remember, jump-started the offense, led a scoring drive, and then led the game-winning drive as well in that first preseason game. Second preseason game, Derek Carr started. Rattler was first off the bench and wasn't very good. 4 of 8, 27 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. The third preseason game against Tennessee, Haener went first, Rattler went second, and Rattler was 7 of 13 for 105, and his score was really good. So it was back and forth. This was on August the 5th in preseason. This was Dennis Allen, who's asked, hey, are you confident with either of these guys? Again, this was August the 5th.
I think we got to let these preseason games play it out. I think we're trying to determine if we have a backup quarterback on our roster right now. I've seen some signs that I like, and yet I want to get them into real life situations under the lights and see how both of these guys operate in that environment. So I'm encouraged by what I've seen out of both Spencer and Jake, and yet we haven't made any decisions there, and I want to see what they operate like under the lights.
So being very forthcoming, go back to August. They have been indecisive on these two. None really distinguished himself clearly over the other. So they're giving Spencer Rattler this opportunity. Maybe it was based on what you saw or didn't see from Jake Haener in a limited sample size on Monday Night Football, albeit in a really tough situation. The Saints were down 2 scores on the road against KC. It shuffled your offensive line, all that stuff. Rattler does give you a little more athleticism, a little more mobility. Maybe that's a dimension that he'll add to the offense. And look, man, ton of experience. He's a gamer. Not in the NFL, obviously, but a ton of college experience over his 5 seasons. Dennis Allen did go into a little further the decision to go with Rattler over Haener.
Yeah, I think we just internally talked a lot about it and felt like,
in this particular game that he was going to give us the best chance to win. Both him and Jake both have been practicing extremely hard, preparing to be the starter. It was kind of the conversation that we had at the beginning of the year that Jake would be the two to start, but there wasn't going to be any, really basically going to be kind of a week-to-week deal. And we just felt like this was, for this game, was going to give us the best opportunity.
So he's mentioned a couple times this game specifically. It's interesting because the Bucs, this isn't new for them. We'll get into this in just a second, but the Bucs through 5 weeks, they keep playing rookie quarterbacks. Maybe a part of the reason why they're 3-2. But DA did go into a little further this matchup specifically against Tampa, why they liked Rattler.
Yeah, I think we'll keep all those things internal in terms of what went into making that decision. But there was a lot of discussion, and we came out of there feeling like this was the best thing to do.
Okay, so Tampa specifically, we know, is 3-2, and this is a team that defensively has struggled. Yesterday, we went through those numbers. They're 30th in the NFL in total defense right now. They're 19th in scoring defense, if I remember the number off the top of my head. 28th in pass defense. This Tampa defense has struggled a bit this year. They gave up 500 passing yards to Kirk Cousins on Thursday. Yes, they have a long week to prepare, and the Saints are on a short week. That is objectively true. But Tampa has already faced 2 rookie quarterbacks in the first 5 weeks. They faced Jaden Daniels in Washington, and they faced Bo Nix in Denver. And they've had some success. Now, Daniels completed 71% of his passes, but did not throw for a touchdown, and they held Jaden to 184 yards. Now, Daniels, and this may be the unlock. Daniels, who again, granted, is a very different, gifted athlete, but Rattler is a better athlete than Haener. Daniels ran 16 times for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns, but the Bucs won that game 37-20. The only offense really that Washington found was with Jaden running the football. In week 4 against the Broncos, Bo Nix completed 74% of his passing, a lot of short stuff. Did not throw for a touchdown, just 216 yards, but ran 9 times for 47 yards and a touchdown, and Denver won that game 26-7. So maybe what you're thinking, if you're Dennis Allen, is this is a Bucs team that has struggled defensively and certainly struggled with quarterbacks who can run the football. Maybe Rattler will have some opportunities to make plays with his feet. And on the flip side, Tampa's offense, down a couple of weapons. I mean, we know Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are there and are what they are. Look to see the reincarnation again of Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, Lattimore's owned that matchup throughout their careers. Maybe this is a game, if you're just thinking it from Dennis Allen's perspective, where you go, young quarterbacks against this Tampa defense so far this year have struggled to push the ball downfield. High completion percentage at or near the line of scrimmage, but what they've been able to do is use their feet to run the football and make plays. Maybe that's an area where Spencer Rattler is favored over Jake Haener in this game in particular. And maybe that changes on Thursday night with Denver coming in, who's the 3rd best defense in the NFL right now through 5 weeks. So, again, the sample size will grow. We'll see how this evolves. But for now, the decision has been made that they'll go with Spencer Rattler against Tampa in the Dome on Sunday. And, Todd Bowles is this is something that they've had to do twice already. This will be the 3rd time. And he was asked about facing a first-time starting quarterback, when you don't have film or any book on that player, which this is now the 3rd time they'll have done that this year.
Probably difficult because of the unknown. I mean, we watched the preseason tape and we've seen them coming out. We did our due diligence when they're coming out of school and everything else. And both can get rid of the football. Both can use their legs when they need to. And both are very accurate on the deep ball, and they have deep ball receivers. So we don't expect much to change from an offensive standpoint that way.
Todd Bowles and the Bucs, a different challenge to be sure. No Derek Carr. See what Spencer Rattler can do here with his first opportunity Sunday in the Dome. All right, it's After Further Review. We are glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all over at Relief Windows. Oh, yeah, they do indoor shutters as well. Hey, remember, if you want to buy windows, if you live in a neighborhood where your HOA requires wood windows, remember, at Relief Windows, they have a wood window product, a gelled-in product that comes with a lifetime warranty. That's not a punchline. That's true. So instead of replacing your windows every 4, 5, 6 years when they rot, how about do it once with Relief Windows? Windows, doors, siding. They'll lower your energy bills as well with these energy-efficient replacement windows. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. ReliefWindows.com. All right, Russ Mitchell, when we come back, if you want to react to the Spencer Rattler news, get in. Our guy Ross Jackson already has a reaction piece up at LouisianaSports.net. Go check it out. We'll come back. We'll talk some SEC with Russ Mitchell. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Looking to hire the right people? You need Glow Resources. If you're a business owner, an HR manager, an operations manager, a hiring manager, and you're struggling to find people for your business that stay, that are efficient, that get the job done right, that make your business more efficient, you need Glow Resources. Look, over the course of a year, Glow Resources will interview some 15,000 people for jobs all over the state, all over the country, all over the world. And they have a 93% success rate. It's because they have mastered the process of vetting the right people for your job, knowing the right questions to ask. They're so confident in their ability. I've told you, if it doesn't work for whatever reason, they'll give you a prorated refund or they'll find you a replacement for free. What do you have to lose? All you have to do is be more efficient. GLO, glowresources.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
It's football! Rusty, come on up here. Absolutely, I thought that was going to happen because it's state. It's supposed to happen.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
The only way you can point up is up.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
It's like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
I've been waiting for this all week. How are you?
I love all my children the same.
No, you don't.
You do. Love them all the same.
Liar.
Texas A&M is a bit of a problem child, but I still love them.
What about Florida?
I've kicked Florida out of the house.
Yeah.
But I still love them. I can't even finish the sentence. Anyway, let's kicking tires, lighting fires. Let's talk about something other than my love for Florida.
Let's talk about your lowliest child, your the smart kid who always got picked last and who never had a date to the prom.
Andy?
Who just went out and whipped the bully's ass on the schoolyard. Is your email open, by the way? I just heard a big cling went through.
No, I don't know. I think it was just banging my headset.
Okay, no, it wasn't you. It was Paul. It's all good. But it's not Paul's fault. It's not. It has to be open for your chat. Don't worry about it. My bad. Go ahead. Go.
Can I tell you my favorite thing about the Vanderbilt win over the bullies from down south?
Yes, I would love to.
It was that if you watch the entire game, as I did, they punched them in the face every time Alabama got up.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a lucky punch. They punched Alabama in the face over and over and over again. And every time you thought to yourself, this is it. This is where Alabama comes back. They complete a sidearm pass, with and they get another first down. It was a thorough, offensively and defensively. And let's be clear, I mean, you guys, I'm sure, have discussed this game 100 times. And I saw
never gets old. We'll discuss it 100 more. It'll never get old. Just keep it coming. Remind me of everything you thought about it. That was great.
I loved it so much. I bought a piece of the upright, and I'm going to put it. I moved, and I got to tell you, I love all my children the same.
No, you don't.
But I rearranged memorabilia in my office so that when this field goal post rise, I can put it right next to the door and touch it every time I walk out.
Hey, how big is the piece of the goalpost? Do we know?
4 inches.
Oh, is that small?
Dude, man, that's still. I'm not spending $4,000 for a bin.
How much did it cost?
Like $1,000.
So $1,000 for a 4-inch piece of the goalpost. Figure how tall is a goalpost?
You can't put a price on happiness.
No, I understand. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying think about the money Vanderbilt made. How tall is a goalpost?
I don't know, but it helped pay for the $100,000 fine they got, which trust me, they would have paid how much would they have paid for the win? And that way, the way it happened, Like, how much would you pay for that?
So
100 million? Is that too much? That's probably too much.
So
like, how much would you pay for that if you're Vandy?
The upright is 20 feet tall. So the crossbar is 10 feet high, and then the upright is 20. The upright is 20 feet tall. So
$240,000, right?
So I think it would be like 35 feet off the ground, but it's the upright itself is 20 feet.
I was looking at NFL. The NFL is at 35.
So
That's my
think
bad.
at 20 feet. So what does that get you? 50 pieces? My math is so bad. Is it 50 pieces of the upper? Are they making what? How many? Tell me.
3 feet, 20 feet.
Huh?
Right? Isn't it 4 inches?
Yeah, 4 goes into 25 times.
3 times 20 is 60.
What's 3? You said 4 inches.
Yeah, 4 inches. 4 goes into 12 inches in a foot.
Oh, I was thinking 20 feet tall. Okay, so you never mind. Okay, so 240 inches. So you go 240 divided by 4.
Well,
I don't care.
Showing off this LSU
I don't matter. They made thousands of dollars. I tell you, Russ, as good as I am at English, reading comprehension, all that stuff, I am equally as horrendous at math and science. Like I made a 13 on the ACT in the math. I made like a 30 on the English, like a 13 on the math. I don't math. I don't do math. It's just my brain doesn't work that way. So anyway. They made a lot of money on the goalpost. I love it.
Favorite play in the Vandy win over Alabama?
My favorite play or yours?
Yeah, yours.
Oh, when the defensive end absolutely annihilated Jalen Milroe for the fumble right at midfield, and they went and scored right after it.
That was beautiful.
That was a point. That was one of those points you were talking about, where it looked like Alabama was going to try to get back in the game.
Now, I told you when I really believed. When I believed, like to me, when Jesus came down and touched, like what I believed was the call 4th and 1 where they threw the ball. Yeah. That was right over Malachi Moore's head. Yeah. I was like, I sat back down in my chair and I was like, oh my God, Vandy's gonna win. I was like, Vandy's gonna win this game.
Oh man. George McFly just beat the hell out of Biff Tannen. That's what just happened. That's what happened. Oh, man.
By the way, just so you know, for those of you who spent the last 4 days only in Louisiana, the rest of the world
yeah,
is loving Vandy right now. This loss is so bad for Alabama that it actually united a divided globe. That's how amazing this was.
Oh, my God, man. This is so good. And there's a lot of LSU people now going like, oh, man, Vandy's got to come here. Should we be worried? No, you shouldn't be worried about – go play a good game. But no, you don't need to be worried about Vanderbilt. You just need to laugh at Alabama forever. You never wash this one away, ever. Kalen DeBoer never washes this one away, ever.
It's not just this one, man. I mean, and I know you talked about it, and we talked about it after the game. I mean, giving up 28 points to Alabama, giving up 28 points to Georgia.
Yeah.
And absent just an arm chuck catch, an amazing arm on Milroe and a once-in-a-generation receiver in the 17-year-old Ryan Williams, he lose that game.
Yeah.
Very likely.
Yeah.
And then,
the Bama people have said, yeah, but that was 1st and 10. They would have been – I'm like, yeah, and you had 16 rushing yards the entire second half. Like, you did nothing for a half of football, and we're doing nothing there but for, hey, jump ball, kid, go make a play, and he did. God, but this was way better. This was better. This was so much better.
If you don't like Alabama, or if you've been spending the last 8-9 months railing about how there will be a fall, you could not have scripted a better loss for Alabama. And they were ranked number 1.
Yeah, this isn't like a bad, like, the Bama people who have said, oh, it's like Saban losing to ULM. No, it's not. He inherited a team that was 6-7 and lost the Independence Bowl.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer inherited Nick Saban's Alabama. Like, they gave you the keys to the Ferrari and you wrecked it into a pile of poop. Like, you're an idiot. You lost to Vandy.
It's a little deeper, too, which is that, you know, a lot of this is coaching. Alabama's offense didn't play that poorly, which we've talked about, right? I mean, this was coaching. This is coming into a game, not paying attention, not, you know, thinking that this was easy. You know, this was slack behavior. And by the way, Vandy's not bad. We talked about this after the Va-Tech game when I was talking about, and then the Georgia State game, which was so embarrassing. But you know, I mean, this is a team that could be 5-0. I mean, they're not bad. They're a good team. By Vandy standards, they're a good team. But by SEC standards, they're average at best.
Yeah,
they're a one-trick pony. You know, who has to play. Who even if they play their A game, even if Vandy plays their A game, the only way they win is if the opposition comes in discounting the game with their head not into play. That's the only way that Vandy wins. And so that's coaching.
You know, it's so funny. Arkansas got their first top 5 win in 25 years. And nobody cares.
Did you see the SEC short?
Yes, I did.
Where
So good.
They meet in the middle of the street, walking their goalposts, and they shake hands, and the Arkansas guy goes, what are the chances that we would have our win when Vandy has theirs? And he's like, even Arkansas is okay with being upstaged by Vandy because they beat Alabama.
No doubt, man. All right. Okay, we'll talk about ramifications in this week. Of course, LSU and Ole Miss when we come back with Russ next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. 2 ways you can do it. Website, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You know the drill. Getgordon.com. There's a button right there on the website that says Get Gordon. Just push the button, and then, boom, you'll get connected to someone that can help you get started. Or if you'd rather talk to someone, a living, breathing human, over at one of Gordon's offices, call the 8s. 888-8888. 888-8888. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You need representation. Don't go it alone. Get Gordon and get it done. Listen, one of the other things that I love about the website as well, if you scroll down, you'll see their testimonials, and you will see the testimonials of real clients, real results that they've gotten there at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. More than $2 billion in damages received. Go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206 9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Russ Mitchell hanging out with us at Russ Mitchell CFB. Want to give him a follow there on the old Twitter X machine. By the way, love the hat. Repping our folks over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Where'd you get that hat?
You gave me this hat. And then I spent the day with Grace Betts.
Yes.
From John Deere at the game we won't talk about in
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But, my grandfather was the manager of a John Deere in Nampa, Idaho.
Look at that. In Idaho.
There's my John Deere connection.
I shouldn't tell you this, but
if you got me a Parish hat, I'd wear the Parish construction hat.
I'll make sure that happens. I can do that.
All
right. Parish Construction and Roofing. So Grace, who we all love, amazing at her job, marketing director over there at Sunshine, very, very, very loyal LSU fan. However,
yes,
there's 1 week a year where Grace has divided loyalties because she is an Ole Miss alum. And especially since doing all the NIL deals at LSU that they've done, she has a relationship now with a lot of the players. And so very torn because she wants the players to do well, but being an Ole Miss alum, there's that kind of conflicting tug of war there. So needless to say, I would follow, if you're not following Sunshine on social media, I would this week because I've seen some of the sneak peeks. They're taking a few liberties to have some fun at Grace's expense this week. So LSU fans will like it an awful lot. Let me just say that. Go follow Sunshine John Deere, sunnyquip.com or at sunnyquip on all the social media handles. Go follow them. You'll enjoy the social media coming later this week. I know we went long and talking Vandy and Bama. It was worth it. We only really have time to talk about two games. So let's talk about the two big ones. Let's start with Red River, Oklahoma and Texas, both coming off a bye. Looks like Quinn Ewers is going to be back. Thoughts there on the game in Dallas?
Well, Ewers started off the season great. Through less than 3 games, he's completed 700 yards and 8 touchdowns. So, how does he come back? He's obviously going to be rusty. Conversely, Oklahoma's got this Hawkins Jr. kid who, let's just be clear. He's been okay, and he has great promise. But, he completed 66% of his passes for 161 yards and, had the 69-yard rush, which was basically the touchdown run. So, he's serviceable. The problem is that he's now going up against the Texas defense that is brutal, absolutely brutal. And, again, it's going to come down to Oklahoma's offensive line. They haven't been able to pass block very well. They haven't been able to open up. The only thing Oklahoma's done well this year is their defense has taken the ball away. Right now, they're the best team in the country in taking the ball, and they're ranked number 3 in the nation overall in turnover margin. So if you're an Oklahoma fan and you're going into this game, you're watching your offensive line and you're hoping to the baby Jesus that you can get a couple turnovers. Otherwise, what's the spread? 14? There you go.
Oklahoma won this game a year ago as a.
They've won 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, it's strange, man. They even when Texas has been better, OU still found a way to win this game, which is what's the damnedest thing about rivalry games. Is sometimes the old cliche about throwing out the records kind of matters. Be interested to see how.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they can't throw out their offensive line. You can throw out the records, but they still got to play with that offensive line, and it's not doing very well right now.
LSU's offensive line has been awesome all year. They've only allowed 2 sacks. They've done a great job of keeping Garrett Nussmeier upright, which is why this offense is gone. Ole Miss provides a very significant challenge, really talented defense. Last year was just a throw-up on yourself game, 55-49. I mean, you had 1,300 yards of offense in that game. It was just an absolute abomination. I don't think we're going to see that again. What do you think?
You know, there's not a lot to go on in this game because, I mean, we're halfway through the season and you've had one SEC game and they've had Kentucky and South Carolina. You both had South Carolina, not Murderer's Row of the Southeastern Football Conference. Trey Harris, as of this morning, the last time I checked, he's unlikely to play, right?
I don't know, man. They haven't said, and Lane's not really very forthcoming.
I called my folks out there. I called Rich and some others. I don't think he's going to play, and if he does, he's not going to play well. He's leading the team with almost 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns through 6 games. When he got injured and left, do you know how many points South Carolina or Ole Miss was able to score from that point on?
I do.
3. So, I mean, no doubt y'all will remember Mr. Harris from that debacle you were mentioning when he scorched you for 153 yards in the game-winning touchdown. So him not being in the game obviously is significant, really significant. You can't discount that. So if you recall, Ole Miss ran the ball in that game almost as much as they threw it, right? 300 yards rushing. Side note, there is no truth to the rumor that the U.S. Military Academy now uses clips of that game to teach their young cadets how not to stop a ground attack.
I mean, we all saw the game a year ago, but the inverse is also true about what LSU offensively did to the Ole Miss defense. So you could take your shots at LSU's defense, which is warranted because they were atrocious, but LSU put up 49 points and 600 yards against Ole Miss.
And your quarterback last year was?
I understand, but you also
had wide receivers were.
Give me a break. Like those are amazingly talented players. But you have NFL receivers on this team, and you have a great quarterback. And LSU's passing offense is fine. The Ole Miss is without Quinshon Judkins, and their offensive line has been a challenge this year as well. Like there are issues on both sides.
I mean, and by the way, if you're tailgating with an Ole Miss fan, like for example, if you're tailgating with Grace Vest, say, you don't pass up the opportunity to point out the fact that Quinshon Judkins is having a great season with the Buckeyes, averaging nearly 8 yards a carry for 500 yards. So
they could use him because they don't have anyone close to him on that Ole Miss roster right now.
If you look at the Kentucky game, right, Henry Parrish ran the ball for basically 5 yards a carry. The problem was they only gave him the ball 13 times. I don't know why they didn't give him the ball more. So
he's banged up.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They're injured, man. Like I'm telling, Russ, I just don't love either side in this game. I think we're going to see the same damn game we saw in Vegas. 2 teams plodding along, trying not to get into a shootout, and it's going to come down to the final 2 minutes. You disagree?
No, I think I have the game less than a touchdown. I have Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to pull it away. I mean, I think that you guys are going to have to stop the rushing attack. I think they're going to play the game without Trey. And if they're playing the game without him, I think that will seriously impact their passing offense.
Yeah.
So you've got to stop their rushing offense. And I just haven't seen anything in this LSU run defense to make me think that. Again, there's not a big scope of SEC games to go off of. But from what I've seen, the LSU run defense is not up to snuff. You want me to lie?
I just don't agree with you.
That's fine. You can be wrong too. There's no reason why you have to be right.
This has been a rush defense that has improved, and aside from the long run, the 2 long runs against South Carolina, which you could put as much on your safety's inability to tackle as anything, they've been consistently. I'm not telling you they're good.
What does Hester say about discounting a single running play in the game?
I'm not discounting a play. I'm not saying you could take it away. But what I am saying is there are such things as outliers. And when you run for 300 yards in a game like Ole Miss did a year ago, it's not like you ripped off an 80-yarder. They were consistently gashing LSU. What I'm telling you is in watching this team through 5 games, you don't see teams consistently run for 5, 6, 8, 9, 7, 12 yards a carry. That's not what it's been. They've been good. Hell, they had a beautiful goal line stand last time out at the 1-yard line. Which a year ago, Russ, you and I both know they're going right through that defense. So again, I'm not telling you they're good.
Florida game.
I'm not telling you they're good.
I remember them. Florida just every time they touch the ball, they seem to run for 6 yards.
I'm not telling you they're good. I'm just telling you they're better. I'm just telling you they're better.
I hear what you're saying. I have less faith in LSU's ability to stop Ole Miss running the ball than I do in Ole Miss's ability to be able to run. So I put my 3 points on Ole Miss and I run it there.
Yeah, I close game, and I don't think you're wrong picking Ole Miss. We'll get to picks later in the week, but hopefully it's a good one for the good guys, and Tigers keep their playoff hopes alive. All right, we got to run. Yeah, go ahead.
Hopefully Grace Best goes home crying.
No, I think she'll be happy either way. I think she'll be satisfied. All right, Russ Mitchell. He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. Thanks. We'll talk next week.
Bye. All
right, let's knock out our final break of the show. Autolocks next.
After further review.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Thinking about selling your home? You better call Darren James. You need to sell your home? You call the best. You call Darren James, the realtor that literally sells more homes than any other realtor in the state of Louisiana. That's Darren James. Agent225.com. It is the most user-friendly website in real estate. Go to the website. You can search every home listed by every company all in one place. Maybe you're looking to buy a home. Maybe you're thinking about selling your home. Maybe you're just someone who likes to keep tabs on the real estate market. Go bookmark agent225.com. Trust me, you'll thank me. It's agent225.com. And listen, I've told you this stat for years. 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. Save yourself the time. Maximize your return. Get to a closing table fast with Darren James. Agent225.com. That's agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. All right, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Auto Locks.
Auto Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter out here just cashing tickets, helping pay for people's college and whatnot. 3-0 last night. Give that man a ding. What do you do for an encore? Let's find out. Otter, how are you?
Doing good. We try to stay fair. Oh, shoot, it's foul. All right, we're trying to get these Mets home, man. They had bases loaded. The first and second inning didn't get anything. I mean, we're trying to chase Suarez. It's at 96 pitches. 2 more guys on base, rather, with nobody out. The trailing Philadelphia 1-0 in this closeout game. So gave out the Mets. We passed on the early game between Cleveland and Detroit. Hunt posted them on the website. So Mets, we are on, so not too late. I mean, you get them, got to be about even money, huh, Matt? Right now, maybe, plus just a little bit, right around there.
Mets in game, they are minus $1.15.
Okay.
So we like it still?
Yeah, I'll take it still. Yeah, they're pulling Suarez right now. So
all right, I'm in.
Miracle that they haven't got more. It might be a woulda, coulda, shoulda. Runs are hard to come by. Man, the unders are just clipping them left and right in the postseason as usual, and because it's all about the starting pitching. And you know what? The Dodgers just don't have it, Matt. And, man, we talked about Walker Buehler, and he gave up all 6 runs yesterday in the 6th inning. How about that one? 6-5, and then it goes to they don't score the rest of the game. But, I mean, tonight we're going to go take the 2 home teams again. I'm sorry to go against the Yankees, but Seth Lugo. How many times have we picked Lugo in this show this year from Centenary College? A lot. You bet what you want, man. You bet what you are. Do what you want. But that's not the pick. Come on, let's move on. We got more. We got 58 straight days of football.
Plus money, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
On the
yeah.
Plus one.
The Yankees are a public team, so no. But Lugo has been, I mean, Matt, he's going to be top 5 in the American League Cy Young this year, easily. So he's been really good in the postseason, and it's all about the starting pitching, and they get a big advantage on the mound against the Yankees tonight. So we'll see. First time ever, all divisional series are 1-1 for 2 games.
Clark Schmidt's going to the Yankees, former Gamecock.
He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good, not bad, but not as good as Lugo.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then the football game, boy, we got, Liberty's going to lose.
Oh, wait, do we have a play on Dodgers-Padres?
Yeah, that's what I said. We got the Padres.
Oh, my apologies. I missed it. Okay, so KC, so Mets, Royals, Padres. Okay, got it.
Yeah, we put them out on the website earlier today as well because the Mets game was going early. And then our 58 straight days of football, it's the only way we could play this stuff. We hit last night with Florida International. It went to overtime, 16.5-point dog. So, New Mexico State. Is Diego Pavia still in New Mexico State?
No, he's at Vanderbilt beating Alabama.
That would be correct, yes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how about Vandy acting like they've been there, done this a million times, right through Broadway, 3.5 miles to the Cumberland River, over cars. Nope, not even a scratch on any car.
Love
I mean,
Go
no
get
problem.
It. Engineers,
Yes,
man. Engineering, smart kids.
Yes, indeed. And so my son called me about 10:20 on Football Sunday, right in the middle of the show. He doesn't know what I'm on. I said, son, I'm on the air. Roll Tide. Call you back.
So good.
So we're gonna take Jacksonville State minus the points tonight. So they rolled last week and covered easily. So we're gonna take them again minus the points. Lay the chalk.
1 minute remaining.
New Mexico State, with Diego Pavia, is gone.
Hoping that hook don't get us there. But 21.5 is the number right now for Jacksonville State. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We are we're downtown at Shirley Pearl in Town Square. So get ready for Live After 5 that resumes this weekend with all this great weather.
All right, Otter. Thanks. Good luck. Have a great show tomorrow.
Good luck. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. They're just the best. firstsouthland.com. Remember, great investment property potentially. There's tax breaks when you own timberland. Ask your CPA about First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be what people have done in Louisiana since 1916. Call First South Farm Credit. All right, Russ Mitchell, Pat Donovan of the Bucks. Great stuff today. If you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Muse, Paulie, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
If you haven't done it yet, get your reservation now for Thursday night at Supper Club. I was talking to Chef Layton earlier today. Friday's completely booked. Look, you could always go in on Friday and, look, it's open seating at the bar like we've talked about. You could walk in and try your hand to get a table or a seat at the bar at Supper Club on Friday. But reservations are booked. I've been telling y'all. If you want to get into Supper Club on a Friday, you got to get your reservations far in advance. Anyway, Thursday, tomorrow, the wine feature, they've already announced it. Every Thursday, they'll be selling premier wines by the ounce. This is going to be an awesome one tomorrow. It is the 2011 Chateau Haut-Briand. This is a $4,225 bottle of wine. They're selling it for $60 an ounce. So you want to try something you may otherwise never had the opportunity to do? Tomorrow is the night, and every Thursday. And 21-day dry-aged, bone-in prime rib at Supper Club. Every Thursday, it's Supper Club.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Gulf Coast